scientist that he is. Damon is holding down, doing some planning and strategic stuff that he always does. Lorraine Lopez is chilling. She took off for the holidays. She may be back next week, but she's working on a couple of things. Shout out to everybody who is tuned in. I don't know if Facebook is with us yet. Are we on Facebook? Yes, we are. Welcome everybody on Facebook. If you just tuned in, this is the Black Westchester presents People Before Politics radio show. We're having a special show today. Today's going to be in a call-in show. I know a lot of older people got issues they want to talk about. I know a lot of people got stuff they might want to promote. I know a lot of people still talking about the election. Whatever you want to talk about, today is the day to talk about it. After 6:30, I want everybody to call in 718-705-4959. 718-705-4959. This is the People Before Politics radio call-in show. Word up. So let me see. I just shared it. It's on my Facebook page. Everybody share it on their pages. I have a couple of people in the studio with me. We have Tasha Diaz. Before I go further, and she got the lovely Black Westchester t-shirt on there. Tasha Diaz holds us down beyond everything she does, and we'll let her talk about all the stuff that she does. She is the point person for Yonkers. So everywhere that you see a Black Westchester newspaper in Yonkers, it is because of this young lady here in the middle, Tasha Diaz. And Tasha, tell us who you brought. Everybody bring their microphones to them. Who did you bring with you, Tasha? Tell us who you brought with you.
Today I brought my younger sister. I don't want to say little sister. My younger sister, Mira, with me today. A lot of the things I do out in the community, she's always there with me. So.
Yeah, I'm the assistant, the go-to, social media guru. I'm the co-pilot.
That's what's up. So I have a couple of things on my mind that I just want to get off before we get started. So, all right. So everybody knows by now I've been really big on the election in Georgia, especially when I was down there. The voter suppression down there is real. As you see, Stacey Abrams, I think she just bowed out of the race, but she also, in her speech at the end, she said this is not a concession speech, because a concession speech is when everything that went right and you giving props to the people that won and all that. She still feels that how it went down was not right, and she has vowed to continue to do what she was doing before she decided to run, to protect voters' rights. There was a lot of purge voters down there. My man Raheem Shabazz, you'll see him in the next issue. Is some particular, he got a couple of documentaries he did on genocide, the school to prison pipeline and all that good stuff. He is somebody I know that I used to work with, journalists I used to work with while I was down there for 10, 12 years. He is one of the people who's purged off the voter roll. He went to check before the election because he saw something on the site and was like, here, check here, because they're purging people off the voter roll. Check here to make sure that you. He was like, yo, what happened? I'm not on there no more. So he called and all this, and he was not allowed to vote. And he is just one of 700,000 black and brown people in the state of Georgia who were not allowed to vote in this election. And with that, the dude did everything he could. He was the Secretary of State, which means he was the head of the Board of Elections, and he did all of this stuff, and he still only won by like a point. Like it was like a percent. It was like 50.2 to 49.1 or something, like whatever it was. It was just like, it was just enough. He just made it over 50%, because in Georgia, if you don't get 50%, there's a runoff election, and he got 50.2. And this is the area where the Republicans run things, so he should have got like 70, 80% of the vote. Like, so with all of that thrown at black and brown people, they still came out so strong that she almost won. So That's one of the things that was going on. Let's see, who just said something? Bob Baskerville said, "Mirror the miracle." Donna Nolan said, "Hey to everybody. What's going on, Donna Nolan?"
Hi, Donna.
Just gonna pull up my screen, my full screen. There we go. So shout to her, Dr. Bob. Like I said, I said he's in the lab cooking up something. We're always working on something. The mad scientist, we don't know what he's working on, but we'll see something soon. And that's he's there doing some maps and some graphs and some charts, some crazy stuff that you don't want to know the details. But when it's done, it's gonna be like the most incrediblest thing in the world, though. Word up. So shout to him. What else is so I talked about Stacey Abrams. So there's a couple of other things. Oh, shout to what's her name again? Because of what I'm going to say, I don't want to call her Diddy's baby mother. Kim Porter, rest in peace.
Yes.
She passed. I'm not sure how.
Going too soon.
I don't know what it was. She was 47. I really haven't, because I was doing so many things. I haven't been able to read.
She was found unresponsive at home,
right,
suffering from flu-like symptoms.
Right, but they don't know anything more. So
as of right now, they don't know.
Okay,
exactly.
And I need you to pull the mic closer to you. It moves. There you go. It's close. There you go. Yeah.
I figure my voice projects.
Yeah. So, but the one thing I posted, and I shared the picture on my Instagram page, because I did not want to disrespect her and call her Diddy's baby mama. Like, this woman has done so much outside of that, and was a powerhouse by herself. Actress, a model, and she did so many things. You know what I'm saying? So she accomplished way more than Diddy's baby mama. So for people that just call her Diddy's baby mama, of course, she is the mother of. Is that Justin's mom? The first one is just Justin's mom.
No, she actually has
multiple
children.
Okay, but
her first son is with,
by Albie Shore.
Oh, okay.
That's
Hello, Ann. You've been
Quincy.
on the show. Hello. By her first son is by
Albie Shore. Her first son is Quincy. He's actually starring in
But I want to know,
what is that show?
Diddy's
Star.
son Justin, is that Justin's mom? That's
No, his mother is actually Misa.
Oh, yeah. Misa, there you go.
You should know that. She's from
I know
Vernon.
Misa. Sorry, Misa. Sorry, yo. You know what? I ain't getting no sleep in like 3 days. So anyway, yeah, she's done so much. She had twins by him.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Okay.
she
He has a
actually
son.
has a older
okay.
son.
Shout to Albie Shore. Went to high school with him. Shout my brother. I still see you doing some stuff,
Lorraine
modeling and stuff.
We're not on
Huh?
Facebook. Lorraine.
What about her?
She said we're not on Facebook.
We are on Facebook. My page is on. It's on my page.
Come on,
Yeah,
Lorraine.
yes, it's up. Lorraine, I told her.
We here, family.
I'm watching it. I am watching it on my page. I didn't share it on any other page yet, but it's on my
I'm
page.
trying to get onto mine.
And yes,
to share it.
shout out to Omi Medina.
Now I want to get some of the youth on here.
Shout
We got
to
issues with that.
shout with Omi Medina, who just signed in.
Hi, Omi.
So Donna said, "Hello, my favorite guys."
Hello, Donna.
Hi, Tasha. You said hello back.
Yes.
She's so glad to see you on here, Tasha.
Thank you, Donna. I'm glad you're tuning in. As always, you're always there supporting us.
Yes. Everybody refresh their page, because Luis Cherico just asked us, "Are we on?" And I'm seeing people who are watching us. Everybody who has clicked in already, can you see us? Can you hear us? Let me know so that I know, because that's the second person just asked me, "Are we on?" Tasha D. Young is tuned in. Mount Vernon City Court Judge Adrian Armstrong, how are you, sir? Caitlin Gleason is tuned in. Donna said, always supportive. The Future Society just tuned in. Can't find the show on my Facebook. You know what the problem is? Damon usually shares it to like every page on Facebook. So like no matter where you go, you can find a video. Right now, I haven't had a chance to do that. It's on my page, AJ Woodson. And if Tasha shared it on her page, it's on her page. I have not had a chance to share it anywhere else just yet. Yes, Caitlin, we're on. Oh, Caitlin said you're on. Okay. Bob said, even I can see you. Thank you, Bob. So, yes, I guess when people are asking me, they can't hear me, so I have to type in. We're on my. Yep, there's Louise. She just joined in. Okay, good. We got you. So, yes, tell Lorraine that we're on my Facebook page and whatever pages you all shared it to. Okay. So, for all of those just tuned in, Dr. Bob is working. He got his pen in his pad, and he's working in the lab, working on some mad creation or something, mad scientist stuff. So he's not here today. Damon is plotting, planning, and scheming on whatever, fighting the power, doing whatever he does. Oh, that's another thing. So that was another thing I wanted to talk about. So last week we had Brother Kenneth Chamberlain Jr. on. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. is the vigil for the 7th anniversary of his dad, who was shot and killed by the White Plains Police Department. I wrote a piece. Let me, the newspapers here, I want to bring that out too. Hold on. I'm doing a whole lot right here at the same time. Y'all got to bear with me. So if you haven't seen the paper, that's what it looked like. It's all over the place right now. But one of the stories when I was talking about Kenneth Chamberlain, I wrote a piece on him, on his dad. We always pay tribute every year to keep that name alive. Responding to a medical call, they mocked him, killed him, and called him a nigger. Page 9. Remembering Kenneth Chamberlain. Tomorrow is the vigil for the 7-year anniversary. It's in White Plains. I think 77 Lexington. Somebody will post the information on here on the Facebook page. Bob, if you can do that, I appreciate it.
Hi, Mom.
But it's everyone needs to go out and support this brother. I really strongly, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's necessary because every situation, shout out to Mo Better, every situation, every time there has been a killing by the police or a killing in police custody in this case of Raynette Turner and Mount Vernon, Kenneth Chamberlain is there. When someone is fighting for justice to bring those officers to justice, they call two people first, but the first person they call is Kenneth Chamberlain to come out, and Damon K. Jones.
Yes.
You know, when people's kids, even with black on black crime, when people's kids get killed in Mount Vernon or whatever, Damon's phone rings and he goes with them to the hospital and all that. Then we all meet with them. You know, we meet at their house later. Yeah, we meet them at their house later. But Kenneth Chamberlain is there. He's on the front lines with Molly Graham's parents, with, with everybody's parents. You know what I'm saying? And he's fighting for the justice of his loved one. And he said last week here, people asked him, what does justice look like? He said he does not know because he has never seen it. So tomorrow we cannot let this great man, Trump said, kneeling was a disrespecting the veterans, and Kaepernick said that he's fighting for and protesting for veterans who were killed by the police like Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. Kaepernick said that in response to Trump 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We went down there and supported Kaepernick too. He was a Marine. He served his country. And he was retired from the Westchester County Department of Corrections. He was in law enforcement. And they didn't see none of that. They saw a nigger. And they called him that. And yes, I use this word. And yes, this is Black Westchester, so we're not going to send the N-word. If you have to say the N-word, you shouldn't use the word, period. And I'm not advocating the use of the word, but in this situation, this is what they did, and this is what they said, and this is what they saw. And they broke down his door, and they beanbagged him, and they tased him, and then they shot him to death. And 7 years later, No one has gone to jail for it. No one has been suspended. I think some of the officers have even retired already with full pensions.
It's
and one of them
disgusting.
actually had the nerve to show up, and he's one of the founders of the Westchester Coalition for Police Reform, and they had a fundraiser, and one of the officers had the nerve to show up.
That's a slap in the
Talk
face.
about he was just working that night. He didn't know he would be there. He is the face of that organization. That he started it. It was started and for police reform after the killing of his father, and that officer was there. So, there's a lot of things that Kenneth won't say. He has lawsuits pending. He has litigation and all this other stuff. But you know what? Damon has been with him since day one. I got back to New York in 2014 when we started Black Westchester, and I've joined the fight for him ever since. So tomorrow night at 7 p.m. is the vigil for the 7th anniversary of his death. Everybody who can hear my voice needs to come out, needs to stand with Kenneth Chamberlain, needs to let him know we need to show the White Plains Police Department, and even though Janet DeFiore is going right now, we need to show the Westchester County DA, we need to show everybody that this man is not forgotten about and that the fight for justice is not over. And for all of y'all who thought you got away with something, it's not over yet.
Nope.
So anyway, I just wanted to speak on that tomorrow, 7 p.m., 77 South Lexington Avenue, White Plains. Bob shared a link. Yo, Bob, can you actually share that link in the comment section if you didn't? I'm not sure if that's what you did already because you sent it to me in Messenger as well. Okay, so I want to get that. Shout out to Marvin Church. Shout out to Monique James. What's up, girl? You're looking good. I haven't seen you in a while in Mount Vernon, but you're looking slim. Look happy. So I'm glad. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Thank you for tuning in. Crystal Collins, how are you doing? Louise said, I am trying to advocate for every police department in Westchester to have the same officers from each shift respond to crisis situations. I threw this idea to George Latimer, the county executive, and I am supposed to meet with him to discuss this idea, but have not done so yet. Okay, Luis, let us know how that is going, and good for you. And speaking of George Latimer, Crystal Collins is tuned in, and she works for the Latimer administration. Shout out to Crystal. I met her a few years ago when I first came back, and she was running for Senate against Senator Ruth Hassel Thompson. That's when we first met. And since then, I don't know what she did before that, but since then, I've seen her always be out there. She's been very vigilant, and I give her props for all that she's doing. Who else tuned in? Somebody else tuned in. There's so much on my mind, so right now I'm just going to be coming at you. Thank you, Louise. I'm going to be coming at you as it hits my head. So, Tasha, what have you been up to?
What haven't I been up to?
Well, I know. I want to give you props, though. Well, first off, let me just say on the air, because, I feel like people in this day and age, they'll say, hey, thank you, and you're doing a good job, and all this, and they say stuff. People, everybody who contributes, I always say this, Black Westchester does not, you see my face and my name, you see Damon's face and his name, in the radio show you see Lorraine and Bob, but for all of these things to take place, there are so many people behind the scenes who you do not know. There are so many people who volunteer their time, whether it's distribution, whether it's writing, whether it's editing, just in support. Countless of you who support financially, and you can still do that through PayPal. Hit me and I'll send you the link. And all that. And one of the people, in addition to all that she does for her community, she comes by once a month and she picks up the bulk papers to distribute for Yonkers, and hits all the places in Yonkers. The library, Nepperhead, several buildings, several churches, the Juice Bar, YMCA, YWCA, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And anybody who gets a paper in Yonkers and you find a paper, it's because of this young lady here. And I just want to tell her what she does for Black Westchester is invaluable, and we greatly appreciate her. So I want to say that on air because I don't think people say in this society right now, civil discourse is out the window, civility is out the window, good manners is out the window. Saying thank you and please to people is out the window. Well, we thank you and keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you. And I wanted to say it on air for everybody to hear because I've told you this personally, but I wanted to say it on air. Lorraine is now tuned in, and somebody just threw up a whole bunch of hearts, and I think that was Lorraine. Yeah.
Hi, Lorraine.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was going to talk. Monique James said thank you. Hold on, you just moved up. Thank you. I would not miss it for nothing. And in the world, Black Westchester makes me smile always, delivering true and has true sincere for the life of the people who live in Mount Vernon, amongst others. We thank you very much, Monique, for that. And Donna Nolan said Tasha is a great person. And Mo Bennett said Tasha is a remarkable person. And Lorraine said hey. And Monique said that's love. What's up? And Uncle Frank, Frank Trulio just signed in. Shout out to him. It's another individual who always supports Black Westchester. And I tell everybody to go see him in Mount Vernon, Trust Gold Garden Supplies. And his price for rock salt, especially coming off this winter storm we just had, his price is cheaper than Home Depot, people. So, you know what I mean? Y'all need to go see that man. I think he had to order it early this year. He don't order it till later in the year, but because of the storm, I think he might have some coming in tomorrow or sometime later this week. So y'all need to go see him and stock up on your rock salt. And if y'all can't find him, hit me and I will send y'all an email address. But, you know, I just want to show love to all those who show love to me, and he always supports us from day one. So shout out to Uncle Frank and Trusco Garden Supplies. And all year round, go see go see him because, yo, he got it going on. Whatever you need for gardening, for all that stuff, the outdoor stuff, whatever you need, most stuff that you can find at Home Depot, you can find at him. And we need to support the local businesses.
Yes.
We need the small. This is small. They call it Small Business Saturday. I think is like after Black Friday, which the day before we come back on next week. They call it Small Business.
Saturday.
I'm telling
and then
every,
it's Cyber Monday.
Yeah, Cyber Monday. So I'm saying support small business, and I'm specifically saying support all Black and brown businesses. You know what I'm saying? But support all small businesses though. And, you know, we need to, he's real competitive as far as Home Depot and all of that is concerned. So we need to support him. I don't think he supports the community way more than the community supports him. He donated when Shamoya McKenzie died. He put a permanent bench at the school that she was going to. Like forever, there is a concrete bench you can sit on.
He's the
and
one.
There's a garden around it or whatever. And it has her name, and you've seen pictures of everybody's taking pictures there, and her mom and all of them. This is the gentleman. He did this. He donated the stuff. He did this free. He did this because he wanted to do something to support the family and to leave her name. So forever, people will see that, and she will be represented. This guy, Frank Trulio, did that. These are the kind of things he does. As a matter of fact, last year or the year before, when we had one of the big bad winters, we had the trucks that were supposed to be cleaning the streets. One of them got stuck. He pulled them out. So I'm just trying to say, he pulled them out. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? This dude is always giving love to everybody. He always supports the community. We did a beautification of 4th Avenue once. I think it was 2015 or whatever. He came through with a truck full of mulch and the dirt and the little
like
mulch types, the little rocks, not rocks, but the little it's mulch and another thing I forgot what it, but all the stuff the beautiful, not manure, but the little decorative thing that you put over the dirt, they're like little squares, little things.
I know.
Yeah. Them little colorful things. Yeah, he came with a truck full of that. Louise said, Frank, you're on, and I don't know your address, but type in your address, Frank, because because I already have one person asking me where you're located. Type in your address. Oh, she already asked you specifically, so type in your address, please. But yeah, so he came with a truck full of that, and you know, it was a beautification of 4th Avenue, so we was like cleaning up and working with the merchants and stuff, and a lot of us volunteered. He came with a truck full of that and just put fresh dirt and the little decorative things, and he did that for himself free. You know what I'm saying? Like just for his community. He does a lot for the city of Mount Vernon. The city of Mount Vernon doesn't always do a lot for him. He's located at 47 Grove Street. 47 Grove Street. 47 Grove Street, Trusco Supplies. Definitely go support him. So anyway, that's my little shout out for him. Yes, there's one more thing I got to talk about. This is me running my mouth about whatever today. Talking about whatever today. So I personally know 4 or 5 people, and if you've had this experience, I want you to hit us at blackwestchester.com. I know of at least 2 people who took an Uber in the snowstorm. Their bill was supposed to be $70 or $70-something for the trip, and they found an additional $200 on their bill afterwards. And one specific young lady who the family whose house I live at, the Uber driver's car broke down, and hers was Lyft. The other ones were Uber. This was Lyft. This was Lyft. So the Lyft driver's car broke down, right? He had to shovel himself out to get through, wherever. The meter kept running.
Oh, no.
Like, because you get time, like, because I went to go, when she told me that, I went to look it up. Lyft tells you they charge you like $1 per mile and 25 cents a mile and $1 per minute or something like that. So whatever happened, that whole time that she was stuck, and with her 3-year-old daughter in the car, who had to go to the bathroom really, really bad, she got an extra $200 fine. Now, $200 charge. It was supposed to be $78.
Yeah.
The next day she noticed. The next day she noticed it was another $200 charged to her card. Somebody else called a friend of a friend, and they told him to talk to me. And I don't know the whole story. All I know is they didn't go that far, but they was charged $248. And I'm talking about for like less than a mile or two.
That's
because it took a long time, but they were still charged. So Uber and Lyft OD'd on the storm and overcharged everybody.
They call it price surges.
D. Wilson said my cousin's trip was about $20 and she was charged an extra $275 and pissed a bitch. Everybody who's had this problem with Uber and Lyft in this last storm the other day, email us at blackwestchester@gmail.com. Tell us all the information about your situation, and we're going to put all of this together, and we're going to talk about this in the next issue of the newspaper. This is the type of thing that needs to be discussed, but I've heard there were a lot more people. I've only talked to a few people. Like, a few people told me about their cousin. I said, tell their cousin to call me. Someone else told me and somebody posted what their family member wrote on Facebook, and I told her to contact me. And the other person I talked to specifically with the little girl. So obviously this is a problem. Shout out to Mark Stuckey. Shout out to Mike G. Shout out to D. Wilson. And everybody else who just tuned in. Obviously this is a problem, and this should not be allowed. And I want to know, so I want to know. I did read Lyft. Lyft charges something like 25 cents a mile and $1 a minute. So it said minimum charge $5.20. So just getting in the Lyft costs you $5.20. Like before you even go nowhere, it costs you $5.20 just to get in the Lyft. With the fees, and then it's 25 cents a mile and $1 a minute in addition to that. So people got their initial charge, and then they got a secondary charge.
That's ridiculous.
And all of the people that I heard,
car twice.
And all the people I heard, like said this is a $20 trip, and she was charged $275. There are a lot of stories out there like that, and I want everybody who had this experience to show me, tell me how long your trip was, tell me what it usually is, give me all the information. I'm gonna do a story. I'm gonna quote all of y'all. We're gonna put them on blast. So gas face of the week goes to Uber and Lyft for the BS that they doing. And
they deserve it.
And even some cab, I know the local cabs, like even in Mount Vernon, like it used to be $5 all over anywhere in Mount Vernon. Now it's $6, I think. When in bad weather, you might pay $10 or you might pay $15, like when it's really bad or something. Like but I'm just saying we're talking from like double digits to damn near $300. Like what I'm saying. I could kind of understand. These drivers put their life on the line. They're out there. They're doing what you don't want to do or can't do because you either don't got a car or there's a reason why you're taking the cab or Uber or Lyft. You know what I'm saying? And, they're risking their life being out there, too. So I can see going from $5 to $10 or even a $5 trip costing you $20. Like, I can see there's a limit to that, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I do think they should get paid a little bit more. And I hope that the cab companies – that not the cab company get the money, but the driver actually get the money. Because, I hope the drivers actually get this money for the work. But I can understand that. But these are extenuating circumstances, and we should not tolerate that, and that's BS. Shout out to Charles Stern. He just tuned in. So there's a couple other things on my mind, and I'm going to be bringing them up as I can think of them. So now, back to where I started, where I went a few times earlier. Tasha, what have you been up to? Now, for the people, we had you on the show before. Tell everybody just, briefly some of the things that you do.
Where should I start?
Well, you've been doing turkeys all weekend, so.
Oh, yes. So I've been going out and collecting turkeys for Broadway Community Center. So that way we can hand out some turkeys just to ensure that everybody has Thanksgiving. Every little bit counts. You never know someone's struggle. People think that, I see them dressed like this or I see them like this. You never know what's going on in someone's home, And the way we're doing it, we're going to do it in privacy. We're going to hand them out in privacy.
You mean you're not going up and taking a picture with them? Look, I'm giving out turkeys and posting it all over Facebook. Look at what I'm doing. You mean you don't do that?
No.
Oh, I thought that's how they do things in Yonkers. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
But
I'm
not
sorry.
only that, what is your connection with Broadway community?
Well, I'm actually the vice president on the advisory board. Juanita Perry, hi Mo. She's the president.
Real quick, I just saw an alert that I missed a call. So whoever that was, call back. Give me 5 minutes and call back. Go ahead.
Mo's actually the president. I'm the vice president. Charlie Khalil is he has reached out to me on Facebook. That's how I met Charlie. He is awesome. He's always giving back to the community. And, I felt like, well, I want to help Charlie. I want to see how we can all give back together. Mm-hmm. So I was on this mission to go out and collect turkeys in order to give out in the community. No questions asked, no anything. We're going to post it. We're going to put it up. We're working on, getting that together now. So everybody could get something for Thanksgiving. Right. And we're going to give it out, and, we don't have to take your picture when we give it to you. That's not what it's there for. We're just going to announce, look, this is what we have. First come, first serve. And we'll make sure you have a good Thanksgiving.
I just want to say one thing, too. I always have respect for people who do things in the background. They don't do it for publicity. They do it for their community. They don't make it a political campaign thing. Oh, I did this for my people. Or they don't walk around taking pictures. And it's not wrong. Like sometimes, if sometimes the people want to give you some props. Mm-hmm. But I just missed it again. Give me call back in 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I was not looking at the screen. So and I apologize. So I just want to say another one of those people is somebody from the show who is not here today. And I wanted to big her up at the same time. Lorraine Lopez does so much behind the scenes.
Yes, she does.
That y'all will never know. And she never takes credit.
Yes.
And a lot of people who are doing stuff, she did the thing to help them so they could do it, and you don't even know. And those people are taking pictures, and she just chills.
Yeah, she never wants credit.
So I wanted to give her props for all that she does. Okay, hold on. Maybe I think I got you this time. Caller, you're on the People Before Politics radio show. Please state your name and purpose for.
My name is Donna Nolan. I'm calling from Yonkers. I'm just calling about something that me and my husband were involved in today, as far as standing with a motorcycle club in Yonkers, handing out hats and gloves to homeless people. And
hello, you stopped talking.
It was it was just so important.
I want to. A lot of people don't know you and your plight that you had, and I always try to big up. You suffered a loss, and your son, and you've been very active on getting the illegal guns off the street. Mm-hmm. You've been very active, and I wanted to commend you for the work that you do, and to tell you to keep up the good work. We support you.
Yes, I love you guys. Yes, I love you guys so much.
Always.
Tasha, today we went and we met with the ORT Bike Riders Club. They had asked us if they could do it in Mike's memory handout, and we stood outside the St. John's Church right on the corner by the Rainbow Shop, and just having people come and just to get gloves and hats and socks. You know what? I've been through the worst tragedy in my life the last 3.5 years. You know that.
Yes.
But seeing these people today, I thank God that I have what I have, because some of these people, like I was just watching them, like not knowing where their next meal is going to come from, or just their appreciation just for getting that little bag filled with stuff. Like my hat, I put my hat out to all you guys that are out there. Tasha, I know you're out there all the time working for Yonkers, and Lorraine, I mean, you do. Black Westchester's always got a good show going on. I just want people to realize, you know what? Sometimes you think your life is really bad. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody out there. If you can reach out to somebody and help them, do it. Because today, I didn't do much today. I really didn't. But you know what? It felt good. It really did feel good to just to see these people, their expressions on their face. They were just so grateful that somebody was thinking about them. It really was great today.
When I was in Atlanta, I was in Atlanta for like 10 years. Our church used to, because a lot of times the churches help people when they come into church. We used to go down to the main part of the city, them big parking lots where a lot of the homeless were, and give out food and everything. And one of the things that they used to say when they thanked us, is everybody comes out here and gives out food, but we sat there and talked to them. Mm-hmm. And if they needed prayer, we prayed with them. And they said that's what they appreciated. Now, they needed the socks and all that stuff, but they appreciated that we sat there and heard their stories. And when you hear these stories, like everybody who was homeless is just not some derelict. Like some dude was like a Wall Street dude who used to make like 6-7 figures, and something happened and he's homeless now. Like it's just like
Jimmy actually spoke to a guy today, 65-year-old, cute little old man. Oh my God, I wanted to take him home with me. And he had his plate of food from the Sharon Community Center, and he was enjoying it. He told us he used to be a mechanic, and now he's homeless. And he's thankful that he has his medical, and he was going and going to collect his cans. But I wanted to take this little old man home with me and just keep him here, because he was just, and that was it, just conversation. He was just talking to my husband, Jimmy, and he was so grateful for that. He kept like thanking him for taking that time out to just sit and talk with him. Like they'd have, like I said, we think that, we got these little problems in our lives and stuff, but let me tell you something. These people are the most humble, like just that little bit of gratitude that they are just so happy you're thinking of them. And you're right. It doesn't have to be because they're derelicts or something like that. People fall on hard times, and it's just, today was just a different feeling for me. It really was.
It takes that sometimes to bring you to reality sometimes. Like, no matter how bad you are, and I was just telling the people around me where I live, like, do you know how many people, how we're living and how we're struggling? This would be a step up for them. Right. They would love to be doing struggling like we are, as opposed and having a roof to struggle under. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like my mom, and this is like, she's the one that did it for me. She used to make us go, the church used to go, St. Catherine and Urshela, they used to have this caring and sharing thing on like the last Sunday of the month. and they would just have the clothes. You come get the clothes, and you would feed them, and then and the pastor would make us. You know, he didn't want them to sit at tables, and we sit at different tables, but to sit amongst them and talk to them and embrace them. And then the first time she had us do that, like on a Christmas or something, I was young, I didn't really want to do. But you know what? My mother passed. The first thing I did that first Christmas, I went to find somebody who was feeding people on Christmas. Ended up being Grace Baptist Church down the street from Cupcake Cutie. And they were the only people I could find on Christmas. And me and my sister, that's what we did to honor our mom. Because, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that was big for her. And it's just like when you hear these stories, it makes you realize how lucky you are, how blessed you are. And this season of Thanksgiving and this, you know, the holiday coming, Christmas or whatever you want to call it after that, whatever you celebrate, you know, we take a lot of this stuff for granted. And, you know, this is a time to be thankful for what you do have and to be, and we shouldn't take only this time, we should be a blessing to others. You know, you get blessed with things and you need to bless other people.
Well, I know that I've been blessed because I have my friends from Black Westchester. I got to meet my girl Tasha. Me and her hit it off in Klein Park.
Yep, yes,
me and her are buds now. Yep. Lorraine Lopez has always been there for me. And I wish you guys all a blessed Thanksgiving, and let's just keep up the good work out there.
Thank you. And we send blessings to you as well, Donna. You
Thank you.
You and your son, James.
Right, yes.
Yes. He's always out there, too. He's another one that's always out there.
Before you go, did the basketball thing happen already, or is it coming up still?
February.
Oh, that's not February?
That's February 23rd. Yes, yep. February 23rd.
Yep,
well,
February.
Take a second and tell everybody what that is and why that is, and talk about that for a second.
Sure. February 23rd at Lincoln High School, we will be doing our third annual Michael Nolan Scholarship Basketball Tournament. It starts from 9 in the morning till 9 at night. There's 12 teams, some really great games, some good competition, just a lot of teams from Yonkers, now we have actually out-of-state teams coming in. All money that's raised goes to scholarships for Yonkers. So far, we've given out over $10,000 in scholarships to local, high school students in Yonkers. And all in memory of my son, Michael, who unfortunately was taken from us. We're going to keep doing and fighting to just always keep his memory alive. And thanks to all my community in Yonkers, to Black Westchester, I thank you guys for always thinking of us and helping us spread the word.
Not a problem. And when we get closer, after the beginning of the year, please remind me, because I want to have you, your son, and whoever you want to represent y'all to come on the show and promote that.
Yes.
I would love to. And, I tune in every Sunday.
Yes, she does.
Yes, you do.
She's faithful. Yes, she does.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. Take care.
Take care, Donna.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So this is the Black Westchester call-in show. Call in, talk about whatever is going on, whatever issue you want to discuss, whatever, 718-705-4959, 718-705-4959. And I just wanted to, it's funny because, doing the paper and everything, it's like I'm doing so many things I wanted to do today, and I wasn't able to pull it off, and we're going to have to do it. There was this great historic event recently, the My Brother Keeper Youth Leadership Summit. Over 800 young men of color from Westchester, Rockland, and Dutchess County came together October 25th to celebrate their brotherhood and learn new leadership skills. An array of distinguished presenters, including actor, comedian Mike Epps, and the celebrated Bishop W. Darren Moore. It's the cover of our paper. And while the other cover story is about Andrea Stewart Cousins making history as our majority leader and the new color of Congress, a few people spoke to me and said that should have been the top part. And I said, you know what? You're going to read about those on every other every other media outlet and everything. You're going to hear about the new Congress. Anything about Westchester, New York, you're going to hear about Andrea Stewart Cousins' accomplishments. And all of those things need to happen. But what you're not going to see nowhere else is you're not going to hear about the historic My Brother Keeper Youth Summit, Leadership Summit. And, there was kids, Mount Vernon, Peekskill, Yonkers. I think Dr. Bostic was with Yonkers. Mayor Andre Rainey was with the people with the Peekskill kids. Brother Arthur Muhammad was with Mount Vernon. City Councilman Jared Rice was with the kids from New Rochelle. And shout out to Jared Rice because New Rochelle was the first city to accept Obama's challenge to create a My Brother's Keeper in any municipality in Westchester. It was the first municipality, New Rochelle, and then it took off from there. So I wanted to have Greenberg Superintendent Tahira Dupree Chase, Dr. Chase. Saw her earlier today. She came and picked up some papers to distribute through the district and pay for buy a T-shirt from us. Shout to her, but she's doing something tonight. And I wanted to have Dr. Bostic on. He's in Chicago, and Councilman Rice is doing something, and Mayor Rainey could make it. So I'm going to have another week, and I want to do a whole show. And this is such a big deal. Like, it was such a beautiful picture to see. Almost 1,000 young black and brown men all suited and booted. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't thug looking. They didn't have, you know what I'm saying? They look like thug. They look like young men. They look like a prep school or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Just look, it was beautiful. And then the image that they saw, and this level of not having a lot of police community relations, the Nation of Islam, FOI, with security. They ain't had their bow ties on. They were straight tied. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the bow ties scare people in Westchester. So, you know what I'm saying? The bow ties scare some other people in Westchester.
Oh,
yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? But they had, but to see strong black men, you know what I'm saying? They had images that they could live up to. And, you know, Mayor Rainey, shout to him, and Peekskill, the youngest mayor of Peekskill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and, you know, Jared Rice, the work he's doing in City Councilman New Rochelle. Brother Arthur Muhammad, student minister. He's from Mosque Number 7. He's DJ, activist. Has been on the front line. He does so much work with the kids. Dr. Bostic, all y'all in Yonkers know Dr. Bostic and all the work he's done. And all these, you know, they got to see these leaders. And then, you know, Mike Epps was there all day. And Mike Epps took pictures with them. He hosted it. He took pictures with them. He laughed and joked with them. I mean, you know, he interacted with the crowd afterwards. He didn't just do the Hollywood thing. I got paid to be here on the stage, and I'm bouncing. There are several pictures of him with groups of young kids that they're never going to forget. You know what I'm saying? And this was such a beautiful history. It was at the Westchester County Center, October 25th. And I want to highlight this because the world needs to see these images, because some mainstream media is not going to show you this. And they may have showed you a clip that the event happened, but this was such an this was like a rite of passage for a lot of young black and brown men from the hood, or from throughout Westchester. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to have all of them, the organizers and the various people that were involved. We're going to do a whole show on that. It's probably going to take a couple weeks to put it together, but we're going to do that shortly. I wanted to actually do that today, but it was too short notice to make everything happen, and that, you know, but we're going to do that. And you can read about the whole thing. Like I said, it's the cover story on Black Westchester. It's above the fold, even before Senator Andrew Stewart Cousins. And shout out to her, because she is now after January will be the majority leader. There'll no longer be 3 men in the room. There will be her and 2 other men. So,
right.
2 men, I mean, and her. Like, it's no longer can be called 3 men in a room. From this point on, they're gonna have to find a new name. So 3 persons in the room or whatever.
Right.
And then the new color of Congress.
Oh.
That's a piece that I have. And you
It's
know,
a flower garden.
and my subtitle was, "It's a different world than where you come from," because for all the white men, like, this is the first time, like, the white men are not the majority now. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Right. And when they talk about keep America great again, they talking about going back there. But we had more African American, more women, more LBGTQ. I hope I said them letters right, because I always mix them up. A couple of Native Americans, and I was listening to one of them talk on CNN this morning, and she was like, "Yo, how important it is for her, you know, the Native Americans' plight in this country. They how the country got stolen from them, and they got put on reservations, and all of this, and all their right. You know, they haven't had rights for anything, and now, for the first time in the Congress, Native Americans can see they can see representation for the first time in the history of this country. Like that, how big is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's two, so it's just like this was a historic election. Stacey Abrams didn't win, and Andrew Gilliam didn't win, but they still had made movements. It was a great movement, and now word to all of y'all who won, we got you in there now.
Gotta work.
Yes.
We need to see you hold it down, and just like we was critical of, and politicians sometimes forget this, we helped get you in there. And we're going to help keep your feet to the fire. Give you a minute to get in there and everything. We'll make sure you do right. You know, keep you honest. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to be watching. But I think like some of them, you know, I think a lot of people actually start out good and then politics hit them.
Yeah, they get comfortable.
You know, that level, no, but not even comfortable. It's a corrupt system. And when you
So
get in a corrupt system, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the corruption just gets you, like, and then once you get that one thing that you did a favor for, they hold that over your head for the rest of your life. So, you know,
now you owe.
But Alexandria, Biaggi, what's the other girl? I never remember her name, and Lorraine always says it, from the Bronx, Cortez.
Alexandria.
Yeah. Shout to her. You talking about people talking about, she made a statement this week that she's 20-something. You know, she came from not a modest background or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So she made a comment that she hadn't been able to afford
an apartment,
lodging or whatever, in D.C. yet, waiting for her congressional whatever to kick in salary, whatever to kick in. And the comments on media all over was like, because, you know, we taught to dress our best and put our best foot. So what she had on, it wasn't the most expensive designer, but it looked good. Yeah. And it was like, look at the way she's dressed. She's dressed too expensive to not be able to afford. Well, like that's all you have to say. Like, and that's what she's supposed to be, dressed to impress. That's what we taught to do, because you know what? We had to work 3 times harder just to get to where everybody else had to get, and we had to put our best foot forward, and that's how we was brought up, and we supposed to come to the party that way. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we supposed to do. So shout out to her. Yo, gas face to all the people that was giving her all that. Don't let none of that rock you. You keep doing it. And she came in there, and there was some people protesting, I think, Pelosi or whatever the person is.
It was Pelosi.
Yo, she said, I'm not here to stand with the politicians. I'm here to stand with the people. And she stood with the
and
protesters.
And she went around and gave everybody high fives and everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's props to her. She rocking this whole thing.
But that's why they didn't want her there. But the thing with that, if people really sit back and look, the way they're making fun of her after her winning just goes to show that they feel like people of a lower class should not be in that seat.
Well, but it's always a double standard, because, you know, they talked about Michelle Obama like a dog, and the media's like, oh, they're being unfair to Mrs. Trump. What's her name?
Melania.
They're being unfair to, what the hell? And she talked about she's the most hated person. She's the most, they attack her more than anybody else in this country. What the hell? Did you not see what your predecessor went through? And yo, she rose through it and kept a level of regalness about her. You understand what I'm saying? She never let. She never got down. Like I was telling a couple of people, and I know you're listening right now, and you tell me, I tell you this all the time. You know what? I was like, yo, when you're an eagle, you're supposed to soar. And when you see eagles, they fly by themselves. They don't go down into the chicken coop and argue with the chicken heads that can't fly with them. They soar. So be an eagle and soar. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people that all the time. She was that eagle. She was regal about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, being an eagle sometimes means, yo, the eagle is the symbol of America. The bald eagle, that's one of the symbols. Right. But you always see it flying by itself. It ain't chilling with the homies. It ain't got a whole bunch of people co-signing for. It just goes where it wants, when it wants, and how it wants. You know what I'm saying? You're an eagle. You understand what I'm saying? Soar. Don't go down to the chicken coop and argue with a bunch of chicken heads that can never go where you're going. And they want you to come down there because they can't go where you are. The only way they can argue, they got to bring you down to where they are.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they can't get up there and talk about it. And you think that eagle care about them? That eagle is thousands of feet above looking down. Like, you think they care what they saying? And that's how we need to be. And we need to stop letting people that ain't going nowhere pull us down, hold us down, and talk. Haters are going to hate. That's what they do. That's their point. They not happy. They disappointed. They don't like what God is doing in your life. They don't like the blessings that you're getting, and they hate. You know what I'm saying? One of our pastors said, yo, you need to stop hating on people who are being blessed. And you need to look at it a little bit differently. When your neighbor's being blessed, celebrate. Because that means God is in your neighborhood blessing people. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
I just had this conversation last night. That you can't have people around you that's not happy when you're doing well.
Well, because they want to tear you down.
Exactly.
Like everybody wants you to do good, but not better than them.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who that was for. And
they know who they are.
That's all y'all. So, you know what I'm saying?
They know who they are.
Now, I want to make a distinction, though. When you're an elected official and you're doing wrong, don't try to use that excuse. Oh, they trying to bring a black man down. Because, come on, you're doing wrong and you need to be called to task. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who supports you, they need to know that you're doing wrong. So that's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So let's you know what I'm saying? Let's not, you know, because I hear that from certain elected officials who couldn't caught with their pants down, and you know, and then they'd be like, oh, you know, there's just an attack on the black man trying to bring me down, or you know, whatever. And I'm not speaking to one particular person.
It's a whole. Not even supporting their community, but they throw that out there once they're put
right
in the line.
But usually, if you go back a little bit, they're usually the ones that were the most vocal against whoever was in power then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then you get the seat and you become them.
Right. So you know, so anyway, so that's different. But for all of y'all doing, if somebody's hating on you, that means you're doing something right. Like they don't hate on, like people don't hate on you when you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? When you ain't a threat, they don't. You know, you see the people Trump going after. Those are the people that, yo, Trump went after Auntie Maxine, and now she is the head of one of those committees that's going to be getting all up in his finances and banking and all of that stuff. And about to come around, but he hated on her, and you know what? She spoke back, but she again, like Andrew Stewart's cousin did when they was coming at her, she never went down to their level. She stayed who she was. And that's how, you know what I'm saying? You got to give respect for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't have to, like, yo, these people that be on Facebook that be attacking people that sitting in their living room that ain't doing nothing. Just, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the Sunday dude on the couch. He talk about every quarterback, and he talk about you can't play football, you can't play basketball, but you the biggest critic. Right, was never good in sports or nothing, boy. But you got the most to say. You know what I'm saying? People that can't do what you do talk about how you doing it, and you know, for all of them, there's a phrase, and I'm gonna keep using this all 2019, and I loved it. It was a quote from Muhammad Ali. And his daughter, one of the people at his funeral, brought it up. Muhammad Ali always felt, I ain't got to do the way you want me to do it, and I ain't got to be who you want me to be. And for Black Westchester and people before politics, people feel how we should be doing certain things, and people feel how we should do. Black Westchester should represent this, and Black Westchester, sometimes we're too black for some black people and not black enough for some others. You know what? You got a problem, start your own thing.
Right.
We found a void, and we filled the void that we found. Now, you know what? Everybody got if you can do it, start your own thing, and inform your community. Start your own thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But until you do that, shut up.
I was about to say.
So we got a couple of comments. Mo Better said, hi, everybody. I am the board president of the Broadway Community Center in Yonkers. Tasha Diaz is the vice president, and I want to say Tasha is someone who you can count on. It's been 7 years today. She's been helping us. Hold on. It says Seymour. That's a big comment. For 7 years today, she's been helping us out on the south side of Yonkers with food drives, etc. And I know for a fact, with her being on the board, we will benefit from her heart. BCC focuses focus is for adults and children to continue their education and personal development. They have exciting programs which include Zumba, health and wellness, soccer, and yoga. Today, BCC supports the community with our turkey drive and with the help of Tasha. So stay tuned for when we will distribute, okay? Blessings to Tasha Diaz, and let's not forget the grant writer, Lorraine Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you for coming aboard and helping BCC strive for success. Our kids are our future. Luis Cherico said the problem is people who may have voted Democrat for the first time may now be skeptical about voting in non-politicians after seeing how it went with Trump. Okay, I get people that are not traditional lifelong politicians. If she is being rebellious on the first day of the job, they may not reelect her. See, that's the problem, and I just want to say that I have more respect for a person that's like, I'm not worried about being reelected. I'm going to do the best I can do for this term that I'm here. And if y'all like the job I did, then y'all will reelect me. But I'm not going to just cow down and kiss everybody's butt
just
and
to hold this
go
Because
along
that's how
and
they
get
turn
along
into career politicians.
just so you can keep getting reelected. That's why we in the situation we in now.
Yes.
Because these politicians, they do what they got to do to get reelected. They show up at your church the month or two before election. You know, they show up with a truck turkeys like Nicky Barnes did in the hood back in the days. They took the gangster thing. They show up with a bunch of turkeys and they give it out and they truckload. Y'all think they the greatest, and they give y'all a basketball tournament and give y'all awards, White Plains, and they give y'all ribbon cuttings and pop up block parties and all these things. None of that changes your quality of life.
Right.
It was good for the minute.
Yeah, it's something to keep you quiet.
It was, but it pacified you. But unfortunately, in black and brown communities, that is also. Oops, somebody just called. Please call back. I was not looking. Shout out to Carmen Gomez Goldberg.
Yes, Carmen.
And Mo Better also said, I meant to say not to forget about Lorraine Lopez. And Lorraine said, thank you, Carmen, for the turkeys today.
Yes,
and
Carmen was awesome today. She donated a lot. Carmen, thank you.
So we have another caller. You are on the Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show. Please state your name and purpose for calling. Hello.
AJ, Charlie Stern, how you doing?
Charlie Stern, how you doing?
I'm all right. Enjoying the show as usual. People Before Politics is rocking as usual. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm wondering when do I get to see Damon? I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Then he was on, then he was off. What's going on?
Well, Damon's on a little hiatus. Damon is working on a few things, and you're about to know about all of that real soon.
Okay.
Until then, I'm holding it down. He came to 2 weeks while I was in Atlanta because I wasn't going to be here. So, you know what I'm saying? He came, filled that and now he's back to holding it down. He's working through some stuff right now, and you're about to see in a minute. You're about to hear about all of that. So trust me, he is very active. He's just not. Right now, I'm the face right now. I'm the face you see. But that does not mean that Damon is not busy. Damon's busier than he was when he was on the show right now. So that's all I can say right now on the air.
Fair enough. Purpose of my call, I would like to get your very informed opinion about a local/regional/national topic that is of great import, which is this Amazon Long Island City deal. I'm curious to hear the People Before Politics opinion on that. What's your outlook on it?
Well, first, thank you for saying you wanted to hear my informed opinion. I appreciate you saying those nice words. Secondly, you know what? I haven't really, we was trying to get this issue, and I really wanted to concentrate on this midterm election issue that we put out, and I was putting a lot of myself into that, and then some well needed rest. So I have not really looked at the pros and the cons. I listened to what's being said. I watched the de Blasio interview where he said in the long run, the money that's going to come in and the tax revenue and all that sounds good. What's going to concern me and what I'm looking into I know a lot of these situations when a major corporation comes through, especially when they know you desperately want them, and you got a governor saying, yo, I'll do anything they want to get them here. I'll change my first name to Amazon Cuomo if they come.
Right.
That means basically, you know what I'm saying, they got leverage over you, and you end up getting all kinds of tax breaks and all kinds of stuff. So I'm waiting to see what breaks they got. I mean, you have to get incentives. I understand that. I mean, that's, you go to the place where it's business. You go to the place where it's most affordable and where you could do the most, and all that. I understand that. But what effect will that have? What they always promise, all these things promise lots of jobs. There's tens of thousands of jobs promised. Let's see if that really happens and what kind of jobs. Walmart hires tens of thousands of people too, and most of the people work there is on some kind of public assistance, some kind of food stamps or something, but they give thousands and thousands of jobs. Yeah. So let's not get caught up on the number. What kind of jobs are they giving? What kind of salaries are they paying? What's being also, what concerns me and what I like to see, a lot of times in these developments and is where they're going, who's being pushed out.
Right.
I haven't heard all of that. I haven't really looked at the landscape of where they're going. Is what's there now that's going to be pushed out. So a lot of times, some things small, even if it's not residents and it's small businesses.
Yep.
Well, so a couple of comments. One, what's going to get pushed out? And I'm in Long Island City from time to time for business meetings and so forth. In that particular block of buildings that they're thinking of taking over, there's like a plastics manufacturing company there. There are some smaller city agencies that will get displaced. I think the New York City Economic Development Council has an office there. But there's no one big massive tenant, and then there's some empty space as well. And clearly part of the reason they're interested in that parcel is because it's right along the river. So it's possible to get a ferry in there or, boats and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did hear talk about a ferry or something.
But I can answer this question. This is from my own direct personal experience. In what I do for a living, AJ, I work for a very large technology company, and I don't work for Amazon, but I work for the kind of company that is in that same sort of space. And I can tell you what kind of jobs those are going to be. They are going to be high-paying, these are going to be knowledge workers. These are going to be highly paid knowledge workers, the kind of people that work for Microsoft, the kind of people that work for Salesforce.com, the kind of people that work for big tech. They're not going to be, middle class jobs for people from Regal Park, Queens. These are going to be people with degrees and experience, making high salaries, looking for expensive luxury housing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I understand on some level that's what some people are objecting to. But I think it's an amazing and unusual political moment, because here you have Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio, who are supposedly, at odds on every issue, and they're sitting at the same table saying, this is a great thing. They're in lockstep, unlike any other issue I've ever seen.
I'm always, and just being the person that I am always a little concerned when adversaries are in lockstep with anything. It just makes me want to look at it a little harder. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying when adversaries that can't agree on anything, when they're on lockstep about something, it just makes me want to look at it a little harder. And that's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people come to us to ask those kind of questions. So, but I believe also there's going to be pros and cons. Like, everybody's not going to be happy, period, no matter how it goes down. But if it goes, and I'm projecting because I have not looked into it, it should help the economy, especially in the immediate area, because all those people are going to have to eat somewhere, and they move in. They're gonna have to do, there to be services that people need services everywhere they go. So those kind of businesses. Are they going to bring in businesses for those things? Are they going to support the local businesses that make up that surrounding community? Those are the things that, You know, you got to watch. But I think it's a good deal. I just want to see what happens because.
Yeah.
But what happens is somebody just said something about Tarrytown. I know my dad worked for General Motors, and that whole community was built around it. And when that plant closed, it hurt that whole surrounding community that lived off of that. Like the two, especially for people of color, middle class and below, the two biggest employers was General Motors and Valhalla.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So General
Correct.
Motors helped a lot of people step up and be called middle class that would not have normally have been because of General Motors. So hopefully Amazon will be that for the community. I think overall, once we get past, I know there were concerns of the number 7 train that is highly congested now.
Right.
That's going to be more traffic. De Blasio said they're going to be running trains more frequently, and they're going to do some. Now, the things I always ask, like Amazon, now the infrastructure and the subway and all that stuff has been crumbling and it needs to be repaired. And the thing I always say is when these corporations like that come through, certain things, and I'll give you a way smaller example. When Dave and Buster came to Pelham Manor, and I saw all the paperwork and I did several stories on it, Pelham Manor, I don't know, in their studies or whatever, determined that their being there was going to cost extra amount more for the community and police and all these other things with traffic flow and all this other stuff. And they made Dave and Buster pay $1.5 million to cover that cost that it would cost the community. Using that example, since they will benefit from all of these things and because they're the big billion-dollar corporation, there should be some kind of incentives that, you know, I believe in incentives, but incentives like this, like we need this subway that y'all going to benefit, that y'all going to, that's going to cause it to be more overcrowded. It needs X amount of work. And then partnering with the city to do, I'm not saying it's their job to totally fix it all by themselves, but getting them to contribute to it. I think that, and then on the other end, giving them a extra tax incentive for it. Now, I think that's a good thing, balancing out, because we're going to need that. De Blasio says the increased tax revenue will be able to cover all of that. But there's no, I know he said, because it was asked directly of him, and he kind of skated around the question, there is no kind of direct thing to have them contribute to that. You know, and I think we benefit as communities when we get that. You know, I think that's one of the problems with Mount Vernon. Everybody develops in Mount Vernon. I think in Yonkers too, and some other communities, and we don't get them to pay for some of the stuff that needs to get paid for. That's just another concern of mine, and you know.
So just to kind of recap a couple of things that you said. You know what
Absolutely.
I think it really comes down to? I think it comes down to execution. It's how they do it, right? So we can broadly agree that it's a good thing to have 25,000 jobs that we didn't have before.
Absolutely.
Even if they were all upper middle class jobs, and you got to have a degree, and it's not going to really do a whole lot for the lower middle class.
Can I stop you real quick?
Yep.
I will say one thing that people don't look at. So if you do have a job, if you have 25,000 jobs that are all degrees and all of those things, wait. There is a plus for that, because a lot of those people with those degrees got jobs that are below that they're taking from people who can't get those jobs because the people with the degrees got them jobs. So it's going to free up a lot of those jobs for people to get jobs too. So it does have a plus somewhat in it. Like even though like those people, a lot of those people locally are working somewhere, and if you take them from that, those jobs are available. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to say.
So I agree. And look, broadly, if you're a mayor or you're a governor, how do you look at 25? How do you look at any big company that can be a jobs engine and say, no, we don't want you here? You have to do something, right?
Right.
But the execution of it is going to be so critical, because there's a bunch of politicians, and Gillibrand is among them, and this new Congress member, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is one of them. And by the way, your new state senator, Alessandra Biaggi, is one of them. She actually referred to, in one of her Twitter messages, she referred to the package of benefits that the state is rolling out as a bribe, which I think may be a little bit overreaching. But nevertheless, there are a bunch of electeds who don't like this thing. And maybe collectively what they can do is cause the state and the city to execute on this in a way that, there's a few things that need to happen. Like, I think it's a legitimate concern that the number 7 train is already overcrowded and needs tremendous amount of investment. I think it's a legitimate concern. What's going to happen to the neighboring small businesses in Long Island City? That's those legitimate concerns. It all comes down to execution, and there's a lot of room when you have a multi-billion-dollar company. A $200 billion company coming through town with 25,000 jobs. There's a lot you can do.
There is, and de Blasio tried to explain it. I just want to interrupt you real quick, because since you wanted the people before politics input on it, Dr. Bob's wasn't here, but he's listening, and he listed 4 things that he wanted me to read. 1, at a time when people are fed up with business as usual, one of the difficulties in assessing the deal is the lack of transparency. 2, it is unseemly unseemly for the world's richest corporation to get multi-million-dollar tax breaks, the benefits of which are likely to flow in the pockets of companies' top-paid executives, not the factory shop floor workers. Number 3, a considerable amount of the journalist reports and scholarly studies raise serious questions about the efficiency of tax breaks to deliver on the promise of jobs. And number 4, lastly, instead of these one-sided tax deals written into the deal, should be some sort of performance criteria that corporations should fulfill before getting the tax breaks. I just want to speak on number 4, and I want to put it in terms, and it was one of the greatest things I've seen in a sports contract. When the Jordan Bulls, when they got Rodman got a bare necessity contract, but because he was always getting ejected out of games, because he was always getting all these flagrant fouls, his contract was incentive driven. He got $1 million or some extra $1 million if he became the top 3 in rebounds. He got an extra $1 million if he could make it through the playoffs, get him to the playoffs without getting too many flagrant fouls. He got an extra $1 million. Like it made him perform. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think if you take that, I think that's a little bit of what Bob is saying. If you give more of a performance, and again, like I said, using the example I said with the 7 train and working on some of the infrastructure and them investing into the community that they're going to move into, I think, but I understand the politics of it, but there has to be a balance. That's putting summing it all up.
Yep. And I think it's an appropriate use of government to kind of stand in the middle and say, hey, you want to create a multi-acre development for this type of business application. You got to help us with the infrastructure because we're not prepared. The highway's crumbling, the subway's not prepared for it, and the street lights and everything else that needs to go into it. You gotta pony up. Now, on the other hand, pilots do work. I mean, Mount Vernon is famous for the pilots that were handed out for Target and all that stuff, and it really has been a successful development there on South Sanford Boulevard.
But you know what? And I've sat in many forums, let's just say, when Ernie was mayor, and I listened to the residents, I listened to the politicians. I mean, depending on who you listen to, whether it's working, because from what I've been told, and again, I came back in 2014. I always preface that. So I was in Georgia for 10 years or so. I wasn't here when the deals were made. Supposedly, all the jobs that were promised didn't manifest. There was a big promise of jobs that didn't manifest, all of those jobs. Yep. And then, what's the tricky part of it is the construction of the property. So there's a certain amount of jobs that are just in the construction part and the building of it, and once it's built, right, those jobs don't exist no more. So, but they're counted in the number of jobs that they made available. So it's some stuff like that as well. So, and pilots can be good, and pilots can be bad. And I think our elected officials, the people that we get, and we elect these people to have the knowledge and gather the information to do what's best for the community. And some communities, a pilot may be more beneficial than other communities. Some communities, they might not come in without a pilot. You know, some communities you might have to give a little more, but you need to get something. I mean, I understand politicians have to weigh this. They have all these meetings that we don't sit in, and we don't get to hear all of the information. It does never trickle down to the people. I don't care how many forums they have and how many town halls they have. The people never get the information. Right. I live on the south side and on 7th Avenue in the middle of the hood, and I'm telling you, when I walk down the street, then people never know what the hell that all these people are talking about because they never hear it. They never hear it. They act like I'm saying it, but I'm telling them I invented the wheel or something because they're hearing it for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? There's just so much nuance to this whole thing. It's really, a lot of it is going to come down to how the city and the state market this to people and how Amazon markets it to people so that they don't come across like this big greedy corporation sucking the life out of the city in exchange for a prime piece of real estate. There's so much. It's what you mentioned. It's pilots, but it's also apparently they're going to have this alternative method of getting the land use regulations addressed, and there's Excelsior tax credits involved, and there's economic development subsidies, and you know, it's just a whole gigantic wedding cake of concessions that they're getting out of the state and the city, and it's got to be teed up just right so people can deal with it and the city gets something out of it, and you know, so that it's not a complete catastrophe. So I understand why there's a certain degree of organized opposition, but on the other hand, you can't topple it and chase them away, because think about how many businesses have left New York and our area and Westchester
absolutely
over the last 15, 20 years. Like a lot of jobs have disappeared to other states and cities.
General
and that's
Motors,
not healthy either.
General Motors went to Georgia. So they closed Tarrytown and opened 2 plants, and everybody went to 2 plants in Georgia, Doraville and Albany, Georgia. Like that's when my dad went down in 95, 96 in that big effort. They all moved them there. But that hurt Westchester and hurt that whole Tarrytown area. And I don't know if that area actually recovered fully from them leaving. And that's just one example. But I don't want to spend the whole show on that. But we could definitely revisit this. I want to end it how I started. I'm going to be watching. These are some of the concerns of the things that I will be looking for. I'm going to watch, you know, on all sides how this plays out. Then, you know, you have to, the deal's coming. The deal has been made. Let's see how good the deal was. Let's see how good it was negotiated. Let's see, give them a chance to move in and see if they keep up the word on the things that Amazon said that they were going to do. And if our politicians that we have in there are the right people that are going to hold their feet to the fire and make sure they do all the things. These are all the things that Black Westchester and People Before Politics is going to be watching. And then I can tell you in the end whether it was a good deal or not. I mean, I really can't tell you now. I think on paper, it's a really good thing. It's a beautiful thing for New York, and there are a lot of pluses. Although with everything, I mean, the Nets moving to Brooklyn, a lot of people had to be moved. You know what I'm saying? But the stadium has done a great for the economy. It has done a lot for the economy, and it's a beautiful stadium, and all the business, everything around it is thriving. You know. Same thing when I talked about was in Georgia with the Braves moving to Cobb County. A lot of things had to be moved out of there. It disrupted a lot of stuff. It's still on the table whether that was a good move for Cobb County, because a lot of the downtown Atlanta people are not traveling up to Cobb County. So, you know, it's after the fact. You have to see. But hopefully on paper, when they come, because the other corporations are going to be watching. That's the important thing. Someone has to be first. So when other people see, oh well, Amazon's there, you know what? I'm coming too. You know what I'm saying? And then other people are going to watch. I'm coming too. So you need one. I mean, that's what Mount Vernon needs really, is one good business, like, you know, national business chain, something.
I believe Mount Vernon responded to the same RFP.
Say that again.
I believe Mount Vernon did respond to the Amazon RFP. I agree with you. They need something like that.
See, Mount Vernon is a prime piece. The mayor says this, but this wasn't just, you know, this is not something he created. This is something that always is. Mount Vernon is Mount Vernon. Let me say this out loud for all the people that say, and then I'll read. Jeff got a comment. For all the people that say I have nothing good to say about Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is the most prime real estate in Westchester County. And the reason I say that is nowhere else, we have 3 Metro North stops. And if you live on the borderline of the Bronx, you could actually go to Wakefield. So that's 3 and almost 4 stops, right? Wakefield is on the other side. It's not really Mount Vernon, but it's 2 or 3 blocks from Mount Vernon. We have 2 subway lines on the end of the 5 and the end of the 2 on our borderline, on our borders. We have access to, I believe, 5 highways. So
and 2 rivers.
And 2 rivers. So like those things for national corporations that do a lot of traveling and the trucks come in and out, that's ideal for them. And that's why gentrification is coming, because they're starting to realize that the people that live upstate, you people got to go all the way to Middletown or something, or all the way up there to get a piece of property. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people well-to-do up there that work on Wall Street or somewhere, and you're 20-something minutes away from New York City. Like, I mean, you can get to Grand Central Station. Yep. What is it, 22 minutes or something like that? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know the exact minute, but you're the closest you can to being in the city without being in the city. Right. Yeah. So for those reasons, and that's why I fight so hard for Mount Vernon, get it right, and for the elected officials to be on the same page and move forward because this is such and it's such a prime real estate. If we don't get it together, someone's going to come up in here, get all of us out of here, and they're going to get it together without us. Because that's what happened in Harlem, and Dumbo in Brooklyn, and all those places in Brooklyn, and parts of Chicago. Everywhere, it's not,
Brooklyn
so them type of places, and that's what's going to happen in Long Island City. Like that whole area around Long Island City, there's going to be development all within 5, 10, 15, 20 miles outside within Queens, and everything that parts of Long Island and Nassau County and other places where this ferry thing is going to be a whole nother thing that's going to bring revenue and all that stuff and make it a real reasonable for people living in Nassau County to be able to get to the city without having to go through the bridge and all that other stuff. It's going to be it's going to bring all of those things, but we got to get it together anyway about Mount Vernon. Jeff Monroe from Mount Vernon said, and he was responding to Dr. Bob's comment, knowing the historical corruption of this company and the New York State and city political parties, we all know the above won't happen. I know Charles Stern will be more historically critical. And he posted a link to a story in the New Republic that anybody can click on about attempted bribes, Amazon's illegal something. And I see, Charles, you've already responded and said you will check the article. So everybody can check that article for themselves. Thank you, Jeff Monroe, as always, for, we want all the different opinions. And thank you, Charles, for calling in and bringing that question up, because that was definitely something that I wasn't even thinking about talking about. I didn't know I knew as much about it as I did once I started talking. But go ahead.
Well, thank you, AJ, and good luck to have a good show tonight on People v. Politics, and thanks for talking about this for a few minutes.
No doubt, no doubt. Have a good day.
Be well. Right. Take care. Bye.
Okay, so back to Westchester. I think I lost some people. I don't know. I just went on a rant real quick. I don't know.
No, but it was good.
Sometimes you got to.
Some things need to be said.
So yeah, there's a whole lot of things I ain't say yet. I told you I had to say some stuff outside. I'm gonna be real because I just keep it real. Yo, these 2 young ladies will tell you I had a very different conversation outside. I had to get some stuff out of me before I even got on the air, because it would have been a very different show if I hadn't. But I'm here and it's a beautiful thing. And anybody else now, because we don't have a lot of time left in the show. All callers that want to call in, 718-705-4959. I'm going to have you make your comment or question brief. And we can get in as many as we want. I apologize for anybody who – I have to be looking at the screen so I can click on it and say accept the call. And that rant that I just went through, or whatever you want to call it, I was not looking at the screen. So if anybody just called, you can call it now, because I was not paying attention. And I didn't – so I'm not ignoring anybody. Just if anybody called and be like, hey, they won't pick up my call, I was focused real quick. I wasn't paying attention. So feel free to call in. James Cook, shout out to James Cook. Shout out to Eric Klein, good friend of mine, very big in the music business and several other related fields. Thank you for listening to the show. I think he's down in Florida. James, I'm not sure where you are. I know you were in Virginia last time I heard. I'm not sure where you are now, but shout out to him. Now it's Duncan. said, "Hey AJ," a little while ago. Hey, it was good now. And I was just talking about you. We was just talking about black on black crime. And when Donna Nolan was on, we was talking about those of you who've lost your loved ones to senseless street violence. We were just talking about that earlier. Louise Cherico said the number 7 train has been overcrowded since the subway opened. I don't know how long it's been overcrowded, but I just know there's a major problem. And again, and this is not just with Amazon, and I do agree. Once people see Amazon, several other corporations are going to start looking at the surrounding areas. And that's what you need, that one to come in. Like in Harlem on 125th Street, it was the Magic Johnson Theater. Once the actually before that, it was Starbucks right outside the number 2 train on Lenox Avenue. That was first, I think. Then it was the Magic Johnson Theater, a couple of blocks away going that way. And you had a Metro North stop a couple of blocks away that way. Further down, you had the 1, 2, 3 come through there. The 4, 5, 6 come through there. The A and the not the ACE. One of them don't go, but 2 of those trains go through there. You got the highway on both ends. It made that. Then they built everything in between, and that's having a good plan. Usually, sometimes in our cities, in our cities, what happens is they just build stuff and accept any development, and you have this and you have this, and some of the stuff doesn't go to
nothing matches.
If they decide to figure
you have to have a master plan. A lot of, as Councilman Andre Wallace says, some of these cities and municipalities in Westchester and some communities of color that have we have the no plan. So you know what I'm saying. So they make these deals, and this I didn't get to say when Charles was on. Politicians make deals that benefit them, and then when they get out of office, the residents and the taxpayers are left holding the bag. Sometimes, I'm not saying Amazon will be that, but that's something else I will be looking at, because de Blasio ain't gonna be mayor forever, and Cuomo won't be governor forever. What is the long term? And that's what a lot of people that are concerned about. What is the long term effect, pro and con, that they're coming here will have?
My company isn't happy about Amazon coming here.
Who's that?
FedEx.
Oh, FedEx is not happy about Amazon?
No, they're cutting into our bottom line.
Well, how? Because y'all don't.
They used to be one of our biggest shippers.
Oh,
so now that they're moving in here, they're shipping their own stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, maybe that'll make it more competitive with the fees.
We already got a lot of competition. The post office is staying open later. They working 7 days a week.
Well, hopefully
we were doing 6. Now they doing 7.
Well,
we already ran late.
Well, hopefully the consumers will benefit from all this competition. That's what I'm talking about, because it's about the people. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, now if the people ain't benefiting either, then I ain't got nothing to say good about it. But hopefully some of this competition, the consumers will get better rates on some stuff, and that's competition is a good thing sometimes. Well, we have the opposite happening. First they broke up, like when they broke up Bell. It was the old little baby Bells, the phone companies. They broke it all up because it was a big monopoly. Now it's everything coming back again. One cable company's buying up all the cable companies. One, is buying up all of them. One hospital is buying up all the hospitals. And the one biggest thing that used to piss me off, and this again, I moved to Georgia, so I didn't want to deal with a particular bank. So I went to the next bank. Guess what? The bank I didn't want to deal with bought the bank that I was with. Then I went to another bank. They bought that bank too. So, I purposely didn't want to deal with this bank because I didn't agree with their practices. Yeah. So the other bank was the competition. But then they brought the competition, so you basically got to bank with them and take whatever they give you. You take whatever they give you, and you don't have a choice. And that's the only problem I have with the monopoly thing and the lack of competition. So competition a lot of times is a good thing. It makes everybody get a little more creative, and that's what I'm saying. So Anybody else want to talk about anything else? 718-705-4959. We talked about everything. Stacey Abrams. We talked about the snowstorm. Also, putting it back out there again, Uber and Lyft. I got reports from certain people had took advantage of a lot of people. And I'm talking about in excess of $200 and better in each situation. If that happened to you, email us at your story to blackwestchester@gmail.com. Again, if you got taken advantage of in this previous this little first snowstorm we had that rocked the world, that we were supposed to get a dusting, and it came in and rocked the whole state, because it wasn't just one city, it rocked everybody. George Washington Bridge was closed in the upper level, like
684.
Caitlin Gleason, she was on earlier. I don't know if she's still listening. She worked in New Rochelle, somewhere near where the Radisson is, and it took her over 3 hours to get home in Mount Vernon, just past the Circle. The Circle is in Mount Vernon. A ride that normally fully takes her for about 15 minutes. And that was like the story. Tasha, you got war stories from the.
We got war stories together.
You was supposed to come pick up the papers this morning, and you was like, I'm not going to make it. You know, to the point that I heard your son got out the car and walked.
Yes.
He left you. Yeah.
We went and picked him up around 2:45. Picked him up around 2:45. Getting there wasn't the problem. It was getting home. That was the problem. Ran into the quick errand and was just stuck, gridlock. It was so bad I had to have my son get out of the car, and we were so close to home, but yet so far.
Yes,
I could see my house. I could see my parking spot. I just couldn't get to my house.
Yes.
And
it's like the New York Giants when they get close to the end zone.
We were a block away from home. It took us 5 hours.
I had to rag my team. I had to take it. It's like the New York Giants when they get close to the end zone. They so close, but so far away, and just can't get it in there. Though I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm a lifelong Giants fan, but y'all are disappointing me right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to do this Sunday.
Yes.
I had to do that. Go ahead. Yeah.
And believe it or not, I got out and I pushed the car.
We pushed cars. We got out and directed traffic to get home.
Dr. Bob was calling me from White Plains. He was out there helping he helped some females that were in need.
Everybody looked at me like I'm the female pushing the car.
We were the females
I
pushing
dug the car out with an
men
ice scraper.
in the car.
Yeah. So Dr. Bob was
everybody
out there.
Looked. Nobody wanted to help though.
Yeah. Nobody wanted to help. Everybody wanted to sit in the car and beep the horn and curse.
Wait. Oh, Yonkers schools. Why I hear stories that there was kids on school buses 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night,
11 o'clock.
Yes, it was
still
kids
no
at
pickups.
the Board of Education, where they called the parents and said, "We can't get your kid home, but you have to come here and pick them up."
But I'm talking about they were on buses and stuff on the bus, like
this, urinated on themselves and different things like that.
Dude, we got to do better.
Yes,
we got to do better.
Yeah, I feel like the in the city, dropped the ball on that because. They knew that the storm was coming. They knew that.
Well, I will say nobody knew it was going to be as bad as it was, because the news, there wasn't a news report that told us we was getting what we got. Data said, but my problem is in the city of Hills, them hills didn't just get there today.
Any kind of accumulation,
and y'all have problems every time there's something.
That's what I'm
saying.
You know
So there should be precautions.
It was getting heavier as the day went on. Once they seen that the snow was getting heavier, it wasn't pre-treated, it wasn't any plows on the road. They could have made that a half a day of school and called these parents and pulled out them emergency cards and had people come up there early to pick their children up. You wouldn't have had so many children left on the bus because it wouldn't have been that many because you cut the day in half. You let them go through a full day of school. You let them go home with regular release times, and you thought you were going to get these kids home in a storm, ice, and snow?
That's why the next day they said, no, school closed.
Oh, no,
At first they said 2
First
hour
it was
delay.
a 2 hour delay.
And parents were on Facebook saying, there's no way there's a 2 hour delay. I just picked up my child. It's 11 o'clock. There's no way I'm going to be able to get my child there 2 hours delay or not. Then they changed it.
Oh, okay, because when I finally saw it, because everybody was asking me about Mount Vernon, and I called and I checked the website, and the superintendent said he was going to make a decision between 5 and 6 in the morning. and then they posted that it would be a 2-hour delay. So I did a big thing about all the schools. I got some information from News 12 and other sites, and I posted all the schools that I could find. And Westchester, Putnam, because even Brewster was on there. It was a thorough list that I had. And we're going to continue to do stuff like that, giving you more closings if I can, because sometimes everybody doesn't give us the information.
Right.
So, sometimes the information is hard to go. We're going to continue to do more, going in 2019, more job alerts when stuff. So when Amazon starts posting whatever they're posting, we're going to share that with our community. Because what happens is, bigger than what Charles said, when these jobs become available, even those of us qualified in our community don't always hear about them.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Until
these
it's already
jobs,
filled.
when these job postings start coming out, when we hear about it, we're going to be looking more to share that. We do the traffic stuff when we can, and sometimes the
And we get a lot of that, even when they build these new buildings. That happens.
Okay. So someone's calling the other line. Let me see. I never worked. This one doesn't work for me all the time. Hey, your people before politics. Turn down whatever you got turned down, because you're echoing. Please state your name and your purpose for calling, and make it brief, please. Coming to hello.
Hello.
Yes, people before politics. Who is this?
Sandy.
Who?
Sandy.
Hello, Sandy. How are you? What's your topic or whatever that you want to talk about?
I want to talk about what happened with the weather this week.
Okay.
The city wasn't prepared for the cleaning, and the kids got home from school late.
What school? Now, where are you at? You Yonkers? Are you in
Yonkers?
Okay. So, what was your experience? What did you see?
Well, it wasn't really my experience. My daughters went out. They left at 2:00. They didn't get home until 10:30 at night, just to go pick up my grandson. And they ended up getting stuck. They didn't even plow the road. There was no plows out. It was just treacherous.
Yeah, I heard war stories. Believe it or not, my phone was blowing up. My emails were blowing up like all week, still talking about it. Then you had, like I said, the Uber situation taking advantage of people.
And my thinking is, with all the taxes that we pay to the city, they could have did a better job. It was like they wasn't prepared for the storm at all. And what is it going to be like for the rest of the winter if this has just happened at the first snowstorm?
I totally agree. It definitely was a smack in the face. They definitely got smacked hard. Now, how they respond from this is what I'll be looking at. Because while we were unhappy in Mount Vernon and they were unhappy everywhere, the weather forecast actually, I keep stating this, did not say we were supposed to get a dusting. You know what I'm saying? We got far more than a dusting. And the fact that they didn't predict that it was hitting, what happened, it hit exactly at rush hour was when,
yes.
and they didn't predict that part either. But again, I do say, like I said, Yonkers is the city of hills.
Yeah,
Y'all didn't just get hills that day.
But this
Like,
is
this
an
is all- you're right.
ongoing thing with Yonkers.
So they should be more of a preparation and some sort of a system, because you know how that hits your city. Anything hits your city, so they have to be more prepared. I do agree.
Yes, but my
we
concern was
we
with
have-
the children being out till midnight trying to get home from a school bus.
Wait, can I stop you real quick? So Edgar Santana just tuned in. I think he has something to do with the school in Yonkers or something. He had wrote an article for Black Westchester. If you can hear me, Edgar, can you call in 718-705-4959? He has something to do with the Yonkers school system. Maybe he can bring some light to what happened and why it happened if he'll call in. But thank you, Sandy, though. I agree. They definitely I think everybody got a feeling great in the response to the snow and the preparation for the storm. And we hopefully, what I'll be looking for is when the next storm comes, what adjustments will they be making from this time to next time to be more prepared? Because this happened 2-3 more times. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse. There's no excuse this time, but there's no excuse if this keeps happening. So I will be watching and we will be reporting. And Lorraine Lopez said the same thing I said, just like every other municipality, Yonkers got caught off guard. D. Wilson said the time the storm came, at the time that the weather had reported, when the news
Right, but they should have had early dismissal too.
Right. When the news day prior, it said it should have been early dismissal, which would have been around 11:30 a.m. dismissal. Therefore, 2 p.m. everyone would have been saved, and the children would have been home. Period. Now, I do agree on that, and that not just Yonkers, all schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's coming like that. But Yonkers again, not to beat up on them exclusively, but again, it's the city of hills, dude. Like you ain't just get hills, like
but,
you know.
You know they did make sure the kids get home.
Right,
I applaud them for that. But it's just they could have took in consideration when they saw it was coming down as heavy as that. They should have had an early dismissal.
Right. Again, like I said, they did get caught off guard. I want to keep saying that. But what I'll be looking at again is things are going to happen. But when they happen, these people that are in place, we put them in place, and we expect them, whether it's elected officials, the head of the school board, whatever. What adjustments do you make to better prepare for the next time? And those are what I'm going to be looking. And that's the question that the parents should be calling the school board and should be going to the school board meetings. And those are the questions they should be asking. What is going to be done in the future to prevent this from happening again? Because with this global warming and everything, every winter seems to be way worse than the one before it. And I'm sure I'm not a meteorologist by any state or whatever, but I believe that this could possibly be one of the worst winters ever. You know what I'm saying? So
even winter yet.
We got this storm. Like my man Frank, I said everybody should go get the salt from his place in Mount Vernon. He usually don't even order it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to order it early now because of what just happened. He had to order it for this week. He usually don't order it towards closer to the end of the month because that's when, you know, you got to store all that stuff. He gets it by the truck. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had to make an adjustment. Let's see what adjustment our schools, the people who run our schools make, and not just Yonkers, throughout the municipalities, and our politicians. Because I think in Yonkers, the school board is under the city control. Like outside of Mount Vernon, the school board is a separate entity, and the city, like the mayor, the city government has no control over the school. But I think in Yonkers, your school is under the, under the city. So let's see the head of our schools and the politicians. Let's see, what adjustments they make. Thank you for your call, and please call back in and let us know how things are going during the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
It didn't start till after 2. They didn't know. That's what Lorraine said. Like, because, some places they get hit too late because what this storm did was differently. Usually with Lorraine living in Brewster, they get hit heavier than we do.
Yes, they do.
And they a lot of times get hit earlier than we do.
Yes.
And when she was leaving to go home, it really hadn't started snowing yet, right? You know what I'm saying? Then it started here, and even Damon told me, he was like, yo, yeah, it didn't start here yet, and it was coming down in Mount Vernon. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it hadn't hit, so it obviously traveled up that way. And then when they did get it, they got it way worse. So they just got hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we actually got hit a little earlier than some other places. Mount Vernon and Yonkers actually got hit earlier in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? We all got hit a little earlier. So, anyway, that's what it is. We'll see what they do after this. But again, for parents, anybody listening, you have the power, but you don't utilize it. Just like all of y'all don't show up at city council meetings to discuss the issues in your city government. How many people that who hear my voice right now have been or do go to school board meetings to ask these questions, to see what's going on? How many people actually do it? It's one thing to complain, and this is what this is for everybody to bring up the issues and stuff. But beyond that, what do you do beyond the complaint for action? Like, you have to make people do things sometimes. You have to move. There should be as big as Yonkers be, the school board meeting should be standing room only with all the schools y'all got. Hell, y'all got more schools than a little bit. You got 4 high schools or something like that? Y'all got more schools than a little bit. Yo, do you know that they shouldn't even be able to have the school board meeting where they have it? They need to have it in the big gym auditorium because there's that many people that want to come. That's how you affect change. Go to your city council meeting. Go to your school board meetings. Make your voice heard. Become a pain in their ass.
Right.
You have that right. You understand what I'm saying? Seriously. Like, you have that right. You know, these elected officials and all these people, their salary is paid by your taxes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the elected positions, they elected.
Right.
And the people listening, I'm nobody, this is real talk for the community. A lot of y'all do this. Y'all complain about how it is and vote the same people back in. And vote the same people back in. Y'all do not go to the debates. Y'all do not pay attention to what the other candidates are saying and who's the best candidate. You vote for who you know. You vote for who you're familiar with. You vote for who you're cool with. And that's a lot of the reasons we're in the situations we are. Y'all are the power. And the voting, only a third of the people come out and vote that can vote.
Yeah. A lot of people.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yo, I mean, there are things that we as a people need to do if we want to see change. Obama said this, and I'm going to keep running in the ground. We are the change we want to see. And whatever the situation is, the people, we outnumber the politicians. Yo, everybody get on the phone, call it. If you can't go, call your elected official's office. Call your congressman. Call your school board president and school board trustees.
And a lot of people vote on what they're doing now, not what they have done.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they come out, like you said, they come out with the little things and, they're giving this, and they vote that way. Vote on what they have done. Don't vote for what they're doing now.
Well, not only that, not the whole thing about voting what they have done. There have been a lot of politicians who started out organically. They started out honestly. They started out, but then they became these career politicians, and the interests of the people got lost. So their argument of not voting the new guy in or gal is they don't have any experience. Well, neither did you when you got the job. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know that person.
Right, I haven't
heard of that person's name.
And that means you need to go find out who these people are. Yo, other communities, they demand the politicians meet with them.
Right.
You're not getting the Jewish vote and the Italian vote and a lot of other votes, the union vote. You got to come see them. Until we get together and make them come see us and tell them what they're going to do for us and why we should vote for them, we're going to continue to get what we continue to get. The definition of the insanity is to continue to do the same thing and expect a different result.
Exactly.
And when I went out myself, the petition, and people said that to me when we knocked on doors.
For her
I don't know you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here in the flesh. Ask me questions.
When people come to your door, find out who they are.
Yes.
So instead of saying I don't know you, you might be blowing off the person who's going to make the change that you need in your community.
And they did.
And you vote for the person. You vote for the person that you've been complaining about for 20 years, but you vote them back in office.
That was the biggest question that I got every door I knocked on with her literature. It was always,
I don't know her.
Yeah, I don't know her. Or what is she going to do for me?
And
what has she done? I never heard of her before.
I'm going to lose a lot of people. Every Democrat ain't our friend, and every Republican ain't our enemy. And every independent, and every Green Party candidate, and all them other parties are not our enemy. So sometimes in some races, you need to vote for the person. Right, you need to vote for the best qualified person.
They're choosing to represent you. That don't always mean they're for you.
You know what I'm saying? Just like some people have good cliques and good strong following, and they got these strong groups behind them. That does not make somebody could be really, really cool. I like that person. I like a lot of political elected officials. I like them as persons. I don't like them as elected officials.
Right, they suck at their job.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They need to do something else. But they're really nice people, and I like them as persons. That's not liking a person as a person is not a reason to vote for them. I'm just saying. Anyway, so we are coming kind of close to the end of the show. Ladies, any last words?
Tomorrow we'll be doing an announcement for Broadway Community Center, the turkey giveaway that we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. So everybody just listen out. You know, it's on a first come, first served basis. I just wanted to say that I just want to thank everybody that blessed me, so I was able to bless others. You know, I was able to bless a lot of people, from churches to individual families to also the turkey drive that we're going to do tomorrow. And listen out in December. We got something in the works that's going to be coming up. Hopefully that's going to be very, very beneficial
for Broadway Community
Center.
I just want to say, I'm coming to the show, I'm coming to the close, so I got to do my closing. But before I do, so there have been these little, like, commercial-looking things and these little cute girls taking pictures, like, you know, about Black Westchester. These are the ladies who made those and got the girls and put those little commercials together. So all those little things, they'll say, oh, those girls so cute. I was a little cute with the girl with the bike, and the girl saying Black Westchester. These are the ladies that put that together. So I just want to give them their props. I want to just tell everybody, I said we're coming to the close of the show. More importantly, got to pay these bills. So support small business. So since this is Support Small Business Week, for this week, up until Friday, well, let's just say Saturday. Up until Saturday, because that's Small Business Saturdays. Quarter page ads, instead of $250, are going to be $200. So get your quarter page ads in, get them in this week. Half page ads are $375. They're going to be $300. Full page ads $675. Going to be $600. So there'll be a little discount on all the ads, but the quarter page ads are effective. If you have a small business, not a lot of people like the size. And for y'all, that size matter. You know, we got the full page and the half page. We got all that. But before I'm talking about the moms and pops, the small businesses, y'all want something, and holler at me. We'll work with you. You know, we have 2 and 3 month, 3, 6, 12 month, multi-month discounts and all that. You want to know all that? Hit us at advertise with BW at gmail.com. Or hit us at blackwest@gmail.com. This week only all small businesses hit us up for your discount for the December issue. You haven't seen it because we had a late start and we just, because of the weather, got it out a little late. The November paper is out. Make sure you get it. Make sure you get it. The 2018 midterm election edition should be all over the place. If it's not, hit us blackwestchester.com. If you got a business that wants to hold it, a location where we can put your paper, make sure you hit us. And we also, if you want to sell advertising, 20% for those who sell advertising. We're looking for writers, looking for all of those people. Holla at us, blackwestchester@gmail.com. So, without further ado, we're coming to the close of the show. You could be doing anything else, but you decided to ride with us. We greatly appreciate it. This is blackwestchester.com presents the People Before Politics radio show every Sunday, 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com, giving you real talk for the community since 2014. Not sure who's on next week. But you know what? Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you everybody who's going to tune in.
You.
Until next week, peace. A little late on the intro. My intro is not opening up. How about that? There you go.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism, We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American.